They call it the Tokoloshe, a small thing born from jealousy and dark craft. A goblin of Zulu nights, summoned by witchery, invisible to most. A mischief-maker that slips under doors, lifts breath from sleeping chests, steals what you thought was safe. People say they raise their beds on bricks, not to keep it out, but to keep it from reaching higher. They call it the Tokoloshe, and in this episode we explore its story.
In the long dusk beyond the last electric light, the earth exhales. Villages fold into the dark like paper lanterns blown out by wind. Here, between reed and river and the silence of sleeping cattle, old fears awake. They say the stories begin at the fire. An old woman, hair white as sorghum stalks, spins words like thread. Her voice is not a story at first, it is a warning. Lerato brought her little family to one of those huts. Fresh paint on the door, hope under her tongue. Night settled, and the ordinary noises of the compound sang them to sleep. Small things went missing, an earring, a spoon. The child's toys were scattered as if tiny hands had played with them in secret. The family blamed forgetfulness, then shrugged it into the night. One night, Lerato woke with the sense of being watched. The corner of the hut seemed to breathe. She called for her husband and saw, in the slack of his sleepy face, a reflection of her own fear. At dawn, they found prints. Too small to be a man's, too deliberate to belong to an animal. Each print damp, like a child's tear, looping from the threshold toward the bed and then vanishing. At times, from the corner of an eye, something moved. It was not tall. It was wrong in all the ways that make you step backward. Limp hair like reeds, limbs that bent wrong, and a face where nothing read back to you, only a smooth, dark suggestion of where a face should be. Word travels fast in places where walls are thin. Neighbors gathered. Old men spat into the dirt. A stone-faced woman said the thing was a visitor from the edges, brought when a neighbor's envy turned to need. No one said how to bring one back. They only discussed how to keep it away. They said it perched on the outer beams at night, where the roof met the sky. A small shape watching the sleeping. It moved with sudden quirks, like a puppet whose strings are frayed. Once it leaned down, too close, and the infant sighed as if settling into a cold hand. One night the house woke them with a single new sound, a soft dragging at the child's mat. Lerato turned and saw the mat rise as though something pressed beneath it. In the space of a breath, the room filled with that cold, wrong stillness. Morning arrives like an inspector. Nothing is broken, nothing stolen. Instead, there are the quiet things. Prints vanishing into scrub, a silver ring placed on a threshold, the child sleeping as if held. Proofs that a presence had been there, but preferred negotiation over noise. They never agreed on what it wanted. Some called it a trickster, a thing fed by need. Others said it answered a different covenant, older than language. The oldest among them learned a simpler calculus. Do not sharpen curiosity into invitation. Keep windows and doors modestly closed. Tuck lullabies into the child's ear. Say the right names at wrong times. Treat the night like a question you cannot answer. There is a cruelty to things that are only half seen. They live in hesitations and margins. The pause before you turn a key. The breath you do not let out when you think someone else is in the house. They listen. They catalogue the shape of doubt, and sometimes if you give them space, they settle into it as if they had always been there. So the villagers pass the warning in a voice that fits into pockets, soft, careful, respect the dark where faces should be. Some visitors prefer to be faceless. And they are always nearer than the light lets you feel.
That was an interesting tall indeed. So tonight, when the candle gutters and something breathes beneath the sheets, listen, the Tokoloshe is patient. Thank you so much for visiting with me again. Check back next week for another spooky tale.